Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I know it's not morning, and we may not have just had breakfast, but I'm sure we had lunch. So let's try that again, right? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's more like it. I would like to welcome you all to the Faculty of Humanities and Education Postgraduate Awards Ceremony and Networking event. Now, I am just one of your hosts for this afternoon, and I am Tony Shea Gray, a current MPhil student at Caramac, pursuing a degree in Communication Studies. And I'd like to take the time to just ask my lovely co-host to introduce herself.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Tamara Scott McFarlane, and I'm an MPhil student doing curriculum and instruction in the School of Education. Now, to get us started, it's important that we acknowledge persons who are in the audience, because it's our absolute pleasure to share this celebration of achievement with you. So we'd like to acknowledge Professor Aldry Henry Lee, Pro Vice Chancellor, School of Graduate Studies and Research; Professor Marcia Roy, Director, Office of Graduate Studies and Research; Professor Sylvia Coenberg, Dean, Faculty of Humanities and Education; Dr. Therese Ferguson-Murray, Deputy Dean, Postgraduate Matters, Faculty of Humanities and Education; our guest speaker, Dr. Kurt Henry, Director, African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica, Adjunct Lecturer, Institute of Caribbean Studies.
Our department heads, Dr. Livingston White from the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, Dr. Rosemary Heath from the Department of Library and Information Studies, Dr. Dave Goss from the Institute of Caribbean Studies, Dr. Marcia Rainford from the School of Education, lecturers, staff, graduate students, and awardees. We also want to recognize those who are joining us via live stream on YouTube. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the absence of a program on the screen, I just want to let you know that Tamara and I will be your source of knowledge, and appropriately so. We are the owls, right? Yeah. Of UMed? Am I right or am I right? Right, so we are your source of knowledge this afternoon, so don't worry about the lack of program. You'll get all your knowledge and your wisdom from us. All right, but Tamara, before we get into it, I really want to just express appreciation to the faculty, because I think it is such an honor to celebrate, right, our postgraduate students. As postgraduate students ourselves, we understand what it means to be a student, not only in HUMED, but just a master student overall. We understand the challenges, the obstacles, right, and of course, we do need to celebrate ourselves. Right, Tamara?
Oh, definitely, Tony Shea. I appreciate this celebration of achievement, and we ought to acknowledge those persons who have made the effort to ensure that all graduate students are recognized. So congratulations in advance to all those persons who will be awarded. So thanks for being here. We are congratulating you, and we also need to acknowledge the other department heads who are in the audience, and we must not forget those persons who are the driving force behind us as graduate students, the family members, our parents, our children, our spouses. Thank you for sharing in this wonderful occasion.
All right, thank you so much, Tamara. All right, we'll now move right ahead into this afternoon's program. And first, we'd like to invite Dr. Therese Ferguson-Murray, Deputy Dean, Postgraduate Matters of the Faculty of Humanities and Education, who will present the opening remarks. Let us make her welcome.
Thank you so much, Tony Shea and Tamara. So my opening remarks are very, very, very brief. So all protocols observed. All protocols observed. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I don't know about you, but I'm quite excited to be here today. After orientation, when I get to see the apprehensive yet excited faces of those beginning a new phase of their life in this faculty, this is my other favorite event of the academic year, because we get to celebrate. We get to celebrate all of you. Your hard work, your excellence, your success. This is the time when you, after your program of studies, you get to sit back, relax, and revel in your achievements. So, as I promised, my remarks are very brief because I want you to be the focus of this afternoon. So enjoy the time, congratulations on all that you have achieved, and celebrate yourselves.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ferguson Murray. Short, spicy, and indeed a welcome to us all. No, she needed to be short and spicy because we have a series of welcome coming up. Now, the various administrative heads responsible for postgraduate studies will be sharing their greetings with us. So, to get us started, we're going to invite Professor Sylvia Coinberg, Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Education, to bring greetings. Professor Coinberg, please give her a warm welcome.
Deputy Dean, Dr. Ferguson, Master of Ceremonies, Campus Director for Graduate Studies, Pro Vice PVC Henry Lee, Heads of Department, other Deputy Deans, other guests, and of course, especially postgraduate students and your well-wishers. I want to bring greetings to all of you from the Faculty of Humanities and Education as Dean of Faculty. We are here today to celebrate the rising stars of this faculty, some of whom I believe we may have seen walking in last November's graduation, where some of you would have earned your master's degrees, Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Philosophy, and of course, Doctor of Philosophy degrees. And those of you who did, I say congratulations, well done. And those of you who are still on that trajectory, I say, look at those who came before you. They are your shining lights, they are your role models, they are your examples. They did it, and we are here to help you achieve the same. And I would like, there is something I always like to cite from the Chancellor of the University of the West Indies address at the graduation ceremony. As part of the ceremony, his formal address speaks of the university, and I'm now quoting, an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors. And he goes on to say that the university is a society which follows the academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning. I find that statement significant every time I hear it, because what really stands out for me is the characterization of our institution as an institution that explicitly includes students as members of the academic society. Our students, as members of the academic society, therefore also follow the same academic tradition in the pursuit of knowledge and the encouragement of learning in which we as academic staff are engaged. As senior members of this community, you, our students, are the future of this academic society. So we salute you today, awardees. I know some of you are going to be saluted for major achievements along the path towards completion of your degrees. We salute you not only for your academic accomplishments, but also for the promise that these accomplishments hold for the future. Your individual futures, the future of this region, but especially the future of this academic society. So I'm really happy to be here and to welcome you in the Faculty of Humanities and Education, where we celebrate your academic success. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Cohenberg. We now move to invite Professor Aldry Henry Lee, Pro Vice Chancellor, School of Graduate Studies and Research, to bring greetings. Make her welcome.
Dean, Deputy Dean, our guest speaker, Dr. Kirk Henry, UE colleagues, guests, ladies and gentlemen, students, good evening. Special recognition to our awardees. Can I just see them, please? Can you stand, those in the audience? I just want to put some faces. Give them a round of applause, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, there were approximately 2,815 postgraduate degrees awarded last academic year. There were 1,037 from Mona and 368 from this faculty. So that's about a third, 35%. Give a round of applause for that. Congratulations, congratulations. So our awardees today are among the best who graduated last academic year. Congratulations, and may you continue on your path of excellence. You have helped us to fulfill the UWI mission, and I quote, to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of the Caribbean and the wider world, end of quote. I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. Your hard work, your passion, your commitment to excellence have not gone unnoticed. Today is a celebration of all your achievements, and it is a testament of your dedication that you have shown throughout your academic journey. Ladies and gentlemen, postgraduate studies and research represent the pinnacle of academic pursuit. Certainly, they are very critical to our global ranking and us maintaining our place as the #1 university in the Caribbean and among the best globally. Do I hear a round of applause? So it requires not only a thirst for knowledge, but also resilience in the face of challenges. So you, the awardees, would have had to suffer many sleepless nights and some high-pressured moments to succeed at this level. Do I hear amen? So each of you has demonstrated exceptional abilities in your respective fields, contributing not only to the advancement of your own understanding, but also to the broader body of knowledge in your disciplines. The pursuit of knowledge is not only a personal goal, it is a collective effort. It involves collaboration, innovation, and a deep-seated commitment to the process. So thank you to your lecturers, your mentors, your parents, family members, relatives, and other members of your support group. So you didn't do it alone. So as you receive your awards today, remember that this is not just a recognition of past achievements, but also a charge for the future. The skills you would have developed, the knowledge you would have acquired, and the networks that you would have built are powerful tools that can shape the path of your careers and contribute to the betterment of the society. As you know, there are 7, I hope you know that, there are 7 attributes of the ideal UWI graduate, and I'll talk about 2 of them. I won't be too long, so don't look too worried. 2 of them I want to focus on today. The first one speaks of graduates being globally aware and well-grounded in their regional identity, contributing, listen carefully, to the political, social, economic, environmental, and cultural issues nationally, regionally, and globally. Awardees, speaking to you directly, wherever you go, we would like you to remember the Caribbean region and to give back in whatever way you can, financially or otherwise, mentorship, sponsorship of a student if possible, but please give back to the region and the UWI. Please, I beg you. We may ask you to give a talk or a lecture. We may invite you to give remarks, to be a guest speaker at an award ceremony. But we certainly want you to give back and to stay involved with us. You can even apply to be among the UWI staff, don't you think? Or to become a professor and to give back to the university. And please encourage other persons to pursue their studies with us. You are our best ambassadors, okay? And so please help us to promote the UWI. Please join the UWI Alumni Association and stay connected to us at all costs. As our UWI graduates, I'd like you to listen to this attribute. So I gave you the first one about being connected. This one is about ethics, and I quote, UWI graduates must be guided by strong ethical values. Graduates should champion respect and understand and apply ethical practices and values personally and professionally in all aspects of life. End of quote. So be role models wherever you go. Set a good example and speak up against social injustice and exploitation. Many of you will be leaders, managers, CEOs, ministers, maybe prime minister. We had a prime minister, our prime minister came from our university. So continue on your path of excellence in an ethical and just manner. I encourage you, as I close, to continue your pursuit of excellence, to remain curious, and to embrace the challenges that lie ahead. Your journey in postgraduate studies and research is not just about accumulating knowledge for yourself and for your personal advancement, but is also about making a lasting impact on the Caribbean region and contributing to the sustainable development of our Caribbean people. Once again, congratulations to all awardees. I am extremely proud of you. May your success today be only the foundation of even greater accomplishments in the future. All the very best, and please keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Professor Henry Lee. Thanks for reminding us of why is it that we're here, why we ought to remain here, those impressive statistics, and the charge that you've given to us. We'll certainly take that into consideration. At this point in time, we'd like to invite Professor Marcia Rowe, Director of the Office of Graduate Studies and Research, to bring greetings. Professor Rowe, please welcome her.
Thank you very much. It's Roy. I get all sorts of version, Roy's, and thank you very much. The Office of Graduate Studies and Research, Terrace. Appreciate the invitation, and on the behalf of myself and Miss Georgia Bennett, who is our Assistant Registrar, and the team in Graduate Studies and Research, we're happy to celebrate with you, because you know what happens in graduate studies, we see a lot of the problems, but we rarely ever see the celebration except at graduation. You saw how excited I was. Sometimes I have to calm down. But in the new year, you know, we reflect. It's a time of reflection. So I'm at a strange place, because my first son, he just called me a while ago when I was sitting there. He's going to do his research project for his MSc. And you know, that's the most challenging part. So we're going to sit down this evening and look at the information that they've sent him. And I got that call while I was sitting here. But Jamie is the second one, and Jamie is in his first semester of undergrad. So he just got his results, and so we're also talking about that. He made it through the first semester. You know, the first semester is the hardest, all right? But I was also reflecting, because on Wednesday I was asked to do training of some supervisor training for UTC, and I was reflecting on my own supervisory experience. What gives me the authority to be training anybody? And I went back and I looked at my CV, which self-reflection, sometimes we're scared to do it because sometimes we don't like what we see, or we think we might not like what we see. But I've trained 19 graduate students. I didn't realize that until and 10 PhDs, 9 MPhil, and I've trained 30 undergraduate students, and I do this strategically because I teach at level 1, level 2, and level 3, Sylvia, so I see them the first day come in, and that little bright spark at the front of the room, asking all of those questions, bringing out the information so the others can get it, and I target that one for a grad school or for a Rhodes Scholar or something. I'm not joking. And I usually succeed, so I have Ibrahim that I'm working on now. I did a reference for him today. And then because I see them at level 2 and level 3, I'm interviewing them all the time for graduate research, not only in other universities, but also here. So I get the pick of the crop. When they come to me and they say they want to do graduate research, I've been watching them and interviewing them for 3 years. And I teach biochemistry, and we have to be very careful because most of those students want to do medicine. And if they want to do medicine, they don't want to get into research. It might be their second choice, but I'm watching them even before they come to me. So I enjoy. When I'm reflecting, I enjoy those things and thinking about where all my students are. And so I'm very happy here to celebrate with you, because sometimes we don't celebrate the little things. We dig ourselves deep into the problems, but we don't celebrate those little milestones, you know. It's been 2.5 years since I've been director for graduate studies, you know, so I'm also thinking about all of those things. So for those students who have graduated, and you know, those are the cream of the crop that we have here, they're probably contemplating about what their next move will be. But let me tell you that we have graduates from this institution. Well, I know an individual who is on his 4th postgraduate degree, so it's not done yet. There's more information to generate. So, you know, sometimes when the research bug bites you, it never lets go. So don't assume that because we're celebrating now and you've received your degree, that there is not more. Just think about what it is that you want to do next. And also, it's always nice to be here and to see the faces, because I sign a lot of letters with a lot of names. You know, I was talking to Julian just this week about a case of a graduate student that we need to get finished, and we have to put our heads together to find innovative ways to do it. So I'd rather have conversations than emails, because sometimes we misunderstand each other so much. In the email, I need to call Marcy about something too, because we had an exam meeting today, and so all of those things I'm reflecting on. But it's beautiful, it's wonderful. I am happy. Remember, the semester starts on Monday, and we're excited for the students, but it's also important for us to celebrate, so I'm very happy. The Office of Graduate Studies and Research is always happy to serve the students, and I think we don't celebrate enough. Please invite me back, because sometimes we get weighed down with the problems, but the celebration, sometimes we miss that. So thank you very much. I'm going to have an excellent weekend this weekend.
Thank you very much, Professor Roy. And I just want to say, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone, thank you for your service, right? We appreciate, yes, thank you. We appreciate that you shared that it is important we celebrate the small wins, right? And I can say from the perspective of a postgraduate student, when you submit one of those drafts to your supervisor, and one of my supervisors, she's in the room, I won't call her name. When you submit that and you get some critiques and the feedback, and you feel like, but did I write anything a while ago? Did I really research a while ago? Because the red ink, right? But it is important that we can find at least one line where they would have said, good job, or look more into this, or good effort, right, Dr. White? Of course. All right, so we appreciate that, Professor Roy. But of course, we're coming to the time where the guest speaker will be coming to us to share his words of wisdom, and I am positive that we will all be better for it. I want to take the opportunity to welcome this afternoon Dr. Kurt Henry. He is the director of the African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy degree from the Institute of Caribbean Studies at the UWI Mona. His research focuses on fashion, religious dress, and performance in the African diaspora. Dr. Henry recently received the Prime Minister's National Youth Award for Excellence for Academics. He has served as an adjunct lecturer at the UWI Mona, where he taught courses on African religious retentions in the Caribbean, Caribbean fashion, and material culture and identity. He currently participates as an author in the British Academy's writing program and a curatorial fellow in the Afro-Caribbean art program. Dr. Henry is passionate about using heritage, culture, and history as subject categories for the empowerment of marginalized people within society. Ladies and gentlemen, here, how the bio sound nice? Ladies and gentlemen, am I right or am I right? Of course. So Dr. Henry, no pressure, but as Jamaicans would say, the bio turn up. And so, right, we're awaiting the turn up, all right, guest speech, all right? Let us all make welcome Dr. Kurt Henry. You're welcome.
Greetings, everyone. Let me begin by saying all protocols observed. Professor Roy mentioned earlier about doing second and third degrees, but I'm not so sure about that one. But in due time, time will tell. So I'm a visual learner. So I've prepared a PowerPoint presentation that I'll be sharing with you this afternoon. And basically what I'll be sharing are tips for graduate students who are continuing their research that will help you to go through the process, and also areas of improvement that you'd want to explore in terms of finishing or completing your degree. Now, why? This is a fundamental question as a graduate student. Why are you pursuing a graduate degree? Think about the why. Now, I can tell you that sometimes your why will come along the way. Others are fortunate enough to have the why as they begin graduate school, right? But it is that why that will sustain you as you go through the rigorous process as a graduate student. Now, a little bit about my research. The title of my dissertation is Spiritual Assemblages, Revival, Dress, Ritual, and Power. And basically I asked one fundamental question: how are meanings created through dress in revival ritual spaces? And of course, as a graduate student, you have to be organized. So what you're looking at is a map that I've created from my data, and it basically speaks to the structure of my dissertation. So in order to answer that question, how are meanings created, I looked at a sort of process to understand the flow of dress from the conceptualization to the making or constructing of dress, then to the performance of dress within ritual spaces, and of course the sort of rituals that are engaged when revivalists, for example, remove their spiritual garment, and how is it stored and cared for and so on. So that's basically the structure of my dissertation. Now, my journey. I graduated in 2016 from my undergraduate program, and I was a bit of a nerd. And for those who are doing MPhil, you'll recall that the MPhil program is offered every 2 years. Now, when I graduated, I decided that I'm not going to stay home and waste time. So I registered for the MA Cultural Studies program with the intention of transferring to the MPhil, which I did in 2018, and then upgraded to the PhD in Cultural Studies in 2019. Now, 2022 was an exceptional year for me, and that year I submitted, defended, and was awarded my PhD in Cultural Studies with, of course, high commendation. Thank you. And then in 2023, I started my journey as the director of the African Caribbean Institute of Jamaica. And that institution is basically a research institution which focuses on exploring and documenting the African presence in Jamaica and its relationship with other groups. Now, challenges as a postgraduate student. These are all challenges that I have been through, and I want to share them with you, right? Writer's block. How many of us have experienced writer's block before? For all of us, most of us, right? Also, imposter syndrome. Who can relate? The feeling that you do not belong in a space, the lack of confidence when you're in a research seminar and you're hearing these high conversations happening, you're like, okay, what is happening here, right? The feeling of being stuck. You are going through the process, you're writing, but it seems as if you cannot go forward with your ideas, right? You're being demotivated. Battling distractions. I recall my supervisor, who is a supervisor. Let us acknowledge Dr. Sonia Stadinayo. I recall entering the program, she looked at me and she said that, I don't know how she knows this, but you're easily distracted. And when she said that to me, I really looked into it. And yes, of course, I was distracted with social media and other things happening around you. So it's important to be focused as a graduate student. Poor time management. I battled with that for a while. And of course, fatigue. You're writing, you're thinking and writing and thinking, and you become tired. Your brain becomes tired. You're stressed, right? Now, as a graduate student, you will go through the seasons. I have been through the seasons. So the spring, when you have your ideas booming, right? You have your conceptual framework rather, on point. You know exactly where you want to go as a graduate student, and you're on your journey. And you have the summer, when you're working and massaging those ideas, and you're seeing those ideas working, right? But then, autumn, things kind of slow down a bit. Life starts to happen. You get married. You have a baby. There's death in the family. Financial problems. And of course, the winter, when everything becomes cold, you feel isolated as a graduate. How many of us have felt isolated before? Not, oh, you're fortunate. I have felt isolated during the program, and unfortunately, many of us do not transition from the winter period, and some of us fall by the wayside. So we are some of the fortunate ones that we have to give thanks for that. And of course, when winter is over, then you go back to spring. You get ideas again, and you start to write again, right? Now, there are 10 characteristics of the ideal graduate student, and some of these characteristics are from my own experience and from the graduate school at Flinders University in Australia. So one, you have to be proactive. You cannot sit and wait on a supervisor. You have to go out there. You have to seek information on your own. You have to be proactive. As a graduate student, I've always known that I wanted to do a PhD, and as a graduate student I started to attend graduate seminars and become involved in graduate seminars and so on. So proactiveness is ideal. As an undergraduate student rather, thank you. You see why I need a supervisor? Commitment and motivation. You remember that why. It's important to know why you're doing this, why you're continuing after all those stressful sessions that you've had, all right? And those why will sustain you. I mentioned time management and organization before. Your ability and willingness to learn. Of course, we're all highly intelligent people, but you have to enter graduate school as a blank slate. You must surrender to the process. You don't know it all. Yes, of course, you're being an expert in the area or becoming, but you have to surrender to the process. Work hard. Intelligence is not enough. Statistics have shown that 50% of those who start graduate school do not complete. It's not that they're not brilliant. It's not that we're not highly intelligent people, but some of those persons don't have the stamina or the tenacity to continue. So with all of that intelligence, you have to work hard during the process. And of course, the usual cliches, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. So which area of study, which subject area will keep you up throughout the night? Which topic will keep you going through the night? You have to be passionate about what you're doing. Endurance and discipline. And of course, endurance comes in a kind of symbiotic relationship. Because as I often said that, a thesis is a community of voices. Even though you're the one who wrote it and your thought process, you know, but it's a community of voices, your respondents, your supervisor's voice is in that thesis, your voice is in that thesis, the editor's voice, right? So we have to be aware and understand that even though there's a common saying that graduate work is isolating and it's a lonely process, it does not have to be a lonely process. Now a little light for your journey. Tips on how to not survive, but thrive as a postgraduate student and as a student, postgraduate student, Faculty of Humanities and Education. Again, know why you're pursuing the degree. Visualize your success. When I started my program, I bought a bottle of wine, Chardonnay. And I said to myself that when I submit my thesis, I will have this bottle of wine. And every time, of course, the stress reached me, the pressure take me, right? I looked at that bottle of wine and I remind myself that it will end, right? So you have to have that. You have to have the tangible things as well, you know? Be clear about your priorities. Of course, we are all adults and life is happening, but ensure that you prioritize your graduate work. A good dissertation, you may hear a supervisor say this, that a good dissertation is a focused dissertation. You have to create boundaries. When you're reading, of course, you're going to have a million ideas. You meet upon some words and concepts and phrases, they sound so sexy that you want to just dive in, right? But you always have to go back to your objectives, the research questions, what questions you're answering. Remember that your thesis is just an examination. It is not your life's work, all right? So you have to keep that in mind. Employ effective strategies to prevent data loss. Let me tell you that in the initial stages, I lost 150 pages of work. Right? And that morning was about 3 a.m. because I was busy writing and I was in the mood. You know, when you have that mood and a drive to just write. But something happened. The computer screen went blank. I repowered the computer and nothing. I found myself walking through Irving Hall like this. Barefooted, by the way. Wondering what is going to happen. But as a graduate student, it's also important when you have an intimate relationship with your study. So I was able to produce those pages in a matter of months. Going back to this statement, graduate work is isolating. Again, it does not have to be. Peer support is important. Throughout my program, we had a writing group. We meet at coffee shops, under a tree, you know, and write during the weekends and so on. So it's important to have that peer support. Understand your place. And this is not a disciplining statement, no. When somebody says understand your place and know yourself, no. But understand your place within a global context. You are a part of a global network of research professionals. Begin to think it and begin to act like it, all right? Now, academic conferences, you cannot underestimate academic. You have to attend academic conferences. Allow social media as well to work for you. LinkedIn. Go and explore and research on other writers or researchers, that are doing similar topics that you are. I've met about 4 other researchers who are working on similar areas from universities across the world, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, right? So you have to explore and use social media to your advantage. The thesis guide. This is your Bible. As a former student in this faculty, you ensure that you have your thesis guide. My supervisor said to me that submitting is harder than writing. And it's true, because you have to go through all of these processes. And if you wait until the end, then you will become overwhelmed. So ensure you get a copy of your thesis guide, all right? And know the university regulations governing submission, and also your defense for those PhD students. Develop a healthy working relationship with the academic supervisor. I was fortunate enough to have a supervisor who I can call 11 p.m., 1 a.m., and she answers, right? Not all of us have that privilege, but ensure that you develop and maintain a healthy working relationship with the supervisor. And sometimes the mistake that graduate students make is that they allow the supervisors to lead the process. You are the owner. You are the author of your paper. So ensure that you lead your own process. Seek mentors. Which other student or faculty member that you can emulate or seek guidance from, that is important as well. Build meaningful relationships. My journey was relatively, I'm not going to say easy, but it wasn't as stressful, because throughout my program, the librarians, I made friends with librarians, graduate studies tied with my face, right? Other research colleagues I could call on for support. So ensure that you build relationships with these critical persons. That will be important to your submitting and exiting the program. Allow your research to guide you. I spent about 3 months stressing over a proper conceptual framework. So in other words, I was trying to steer my research in the way that I wanted it to go. And for me, that was a painful process. And once I surrendered to the information, for example, the data, look at your data, depending on the approach you're taking, right? Look at your data and allow that, those bit of information to guide you. Remember to register for your courses. I had to pay some monies because I forgot, right? Now, importantly, monitor your health and well-being. Again, all of us, most of us are nerds inside here. And a lot of our energies are pumped into developing our cognitive abilities or intelligence, right? The constant reading and writing, which is a mental. The mental work is there. But then after a while through the program, I found myself being demotivated. And I could not write for a while. And I did some reflection. Of course, my spiritual side was important, and I was neglecting that. I became ill after a while because I was also neglecting my physical health. I was depending on my mind to sustain me, of course, which you need, but ensure that you keep the spiritual. Ensure that you're a part of a faith-based community, whether you're religious or you're spiritual, whatever it is. But there will be a time when you will need that source that is higher than yourself for comfort and guidance. Now, finally, these are some quotes that I want to leave with you. One, success requires action. You have to, again, take charge, take the lead of your own process. Progress, not perfection. A lot of us want the thesis to be perfect. There is never a perfect thesis. Never, there will never be a perfect thesis. But ensure that progress is being made. And again, stick to your boundaries, your research questions and objectives. Enjoy climbing the mountain. After submitting each chapter, of course I go out to have a drink and enjoy the process with my friends, right? So ensure that you enjoy that process while you climb the mountain. Now, thank you for listening, and I hope I was able to impart knowledge.
Dr. Henry, you more than imparted knowledge. I sat there and I'm like, mirror, mirror on the wall. I felt as though you were speaking to my soul. And I'm sure others are agreeing because they've experienced some of the very same challenges and the success stories and frustrations. But what we're happy for is that you're just coming out of the process. You did it. Your suggestions were practical. We know we can do it. So thanks for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Dr. Henry, thank you very much. Dr. Ferguson Moore will give you an official thank you later, but it would be remiss of me not to express our appreciation for it. Now, Tony Shea, is this the time of the evening that we've all been waiting for? Yes. Or was Dr. Henry the moment?
You know what? I'll just say that Dr. Henry was a part of the moment, right? We won't take the moment from him at all, but he's a part of the moment because we know that our awardees, they're ready to be awarded, right? You're ready to be celebrated, right? Of course, because you're looking quite lovely, you know. I like your pearls. Yes, you are ready for the moment, right? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we move right ahead to the time that we've all been waiting for, right? We are ready to celebrate, to award, and to honor our postgraduate students this afternoon. This is a moment to recognize your hard work, your dedication, and the effort that you've put into your studies. You've shown immense talent and passion and vigor in your respective fields, and trust me, as a second-year MPhil student, it is inspiring. Both Dr. Henry's speech, his journey, and yours, it is truly inspiring. And so I want to take this moment to invite Dr. Livingston White from the Caribbean School of Media and Communication to do the departmental awards. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Tony Shea. Good afternoon, everyone. At the Caribbean School of Media and Communication, CARIMAC, we have 4 master's programs, and this afternoon we'll be presenting the top performing student in each of these programs. For the Master in Communication for Social and Behavior Change, the award will be going to Shamko Play, and Dr. Nova Gordon-Bell, our program coordinator for our graduate programs, will be presenting these awards. Now, Shamko Play is in Barbados, and Sidonie Preddy, one of our classmates in the program, will be accepting the award on her behalf. So let's invite Dr. Gordon-Bell to the stage, and Sidonie Preddy will receive. A round of applause, please. Thank you. So it's the bag, the floral bag. Yes, that's right. So let me announce that again. And the award for top performing student in the Masters in Communication for Social and Behavior Change goes to Shamko Plie, and it is being received by Sidonie Preddy. Okay. And for our top performing student in the Masters in Communication Studies, Kimlee Levy. The top performing student in the Masters in Integrated Marketing Communication, Carice Jackman. Now, Carice Jackman is in Trinidad, and we will hold that award for her. And so we'll jump to the next one, the top performing student for the Masters in Media Management, and that goes to Sarah Webster. And then the final award from Carimac, the top performing graduate student happens to be Shamko Plie, and she, as you know, is from the Masters in Communication for Social and Behavior Change. Sidonie Preddy, you're representing her. So now we invite Shanoy Harris. Thank you, Dr. Gordon Bell. You know, PVC Lee, Henry Lee, this is a great example of graduates giving back. Shanoy Harris is a graduate of the University of the West Indies, and she sponsored this award, so we're happy to see Shanoy Harris. Shanoy Harris, CEO of Infinity IMC Limited, sponsoring the award for the top performing graduate student, and that's Shamko Plie. Thank you very much, Ms. Harris. We look forward to the continued sponsorship. And that ends the presentations from Carimac.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Livingston White, and congratulations to all the awardees from Carimac. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Rosemary Heath from the Department of Library and Information Studies to present the departmental awards. Dr. Heath?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to present the following awards to students of the department who have performed exceptionally, and I am asking Ms. Chevian Lewis from the department to make the presentations. There are two persons who are in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm pretty sure they're watching online, and so I extend the congratulations across the seas. But they are not here to accept their awards. However, I will ensure that they are in receipt of them in short order. The first award is being presented, however. It's a Carbica Prize for the best grade in ARCM 6003, that's Preservation of Archival Materials in Tropical Environments. And this award goes to Sheena Gay Sr. The next award is a Carbica Prize for the best grade in ARCM 6002, that's Acquisition, Organization, and Use of Archival Materials, and this goes to Faye Marine Smith. And so I will mention the other two awardees. The Pippa Frey Prize for the best grade in LIBS 6001, that's Foundations of Library and Information Studies. The award goes to Ranessa Austin in Trinidad and Tobago. Please give her a hand. And our final award, this is the Dorothy Collins Prize for the best graduating student overall. And this award goes to Julia Thorington, Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Heath, and congratulations to all the awardees from the Department of Library and Information Studies. We now invite Dr. Dave Goss to come and do the departmental awards for ICS. Make him welcome.
Yes, good evening, everyone. We have one student, Tonya Brown. Will you come, Tonya? She's getting the prize as the most outstanding student in cultural studies. And if you know anything about cultural studies, the theories and methods are very hard. And she gained the highest grades among all the first year students. So congratulations, Tonya. I'll give her the prize.
Tonya, I see that you're very, very special. Dr. Gus was short and spicy. Congratulations. So we'll now invite Dr. Marcia Rainford, the Director of the School of Education, to present those departmental awards. Dr. Rainford, please welcome her.
Good afternoon, everyone. The School of Education, I'm going to invite Dr. Mary Agbola, who is Senior Lecturer in Educational Leadership and Management, to hand out these awards. The first one goes to the top student for the MEd in Curriculum and Instruction, the face-to-face program, and that would be Mona Lynch. Is Mona here? The top student, Curriculum and Instruction, the online program, that goes to Candy Bailey. Top student, MEd Early Childhood Education, that goes to Karen Lamoth Wilson. Top student, MEd Educational Leadership and Management, blended program, Sharna Lewis. And for the online program, Olga Morgan. The MEd Educational Measurement goes to Davian Reed, top student. And our top student, Educational Planning and Policy, Mr. Amor Card Brown. Top student in Educational Psychology, Hannah K. Steer. Is Hannah here? Is Dr. George here? Dr. Agbola, you will have to stand up and do some homework for me. The top student, MEd Inclusive and Special Education, Jessica Lawrence Brown. Jessica is in here. Mathematics Education, David Thompson. MEd Teacher Education and Teacher Development, Anita McNeil. MEd Teacher Education, Andrea Otto. Andrea is in here. MEd Language Education, Chevenise Hutchinson. MEd Science Education, Camille Tyndale. Now we have a postgraduate diploma in education. The top student for information technology, Christina Cornibert. I don't think Christina is here, she's in St. Lucia. Social studies education, that goes to Sashana Pusey. That will be collected by her father, Mr. Noel Pusey. Thank you, Dr. Agbola. Thank you. I am going to invite Dr. Zoya Kincaid Clark, Senior Lecturer in Early Childhood Education and Coordinator for our Graduate Studies Program, to hand out these other 5 special awards. The most outstanding student in the Master of Arts in Teaching Program Part 2 is Tedisha Smith from Social Studies Education. The Professor John Figueroa Award for the most outstanding performance in the Postgraduate Diploma in Education program, face-to-face program, goes to Janelle Wilson. And she's in the area of mathematics education. This is very serious. The Monica Brown Award for the most outstanding performance in the MEd Summer and Online program goes to Andrea Otter from the Teacher Ed program. I don't think Andrea is here. And also, the most outstanding student in the postgraduate diploma program goes to Christina Cornibert, and she's from Information Technology, and she isn't here either. But the most outstanding student in the MEd program overall with the highest GPA goes, of course, to Camille Tyndale, who is here from Science Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rainford, and congratulations to all the scholars from the School of Education. We move right ahead into the Faculty Awards and invite our Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Education, Professor Sylvia Cohenberg. Please make her welcome.
I need the list. I need the list.
Oh no, I don't have the list. These are our programs.
The list will come. You want to? Do we have another department to do first? Okay, just give us a minute because the list is not right here. Every ceremony has to have a glitch somewhere, right? So since I'm standing here, let me just say welcome to all our online participants, because I really address the audience that is right before me, but I know that a number of people are watching as we stream live. And I was also remiss in not specially welcoming Dr. Kurt Henry. I still remember that he came into one of my classes. This was right before a pandemic was declared. And he gave a lecture in one of my classes because we were preparing to go to a community in St. Elizabeth. And I'm so glad that we made that field trip a week before the pandemic was declared. So that was the last time that my students had a face-to-face fieldwork experience. And after that, all our fieldwork had to be conducted online. But I remember that class and that fieldwork experience, and it was really wonderful. And since I'm still filling time here, one of the things that Dr. Henry did not speak about, but has been a bit of an elephant in the room, is the anxieties that a lot of people have returned to classrooms with after the pandemic, and the strangeness of being back in company that is not on a screen. And we know that this has affected our staff, it has affected our students, and it is one of the new challenges that we are now having to deal with. And we're still getting used, even though we've been kind of feeling like we're supposed to be back to normal. I think a lot of us have come to realize that we're not really back to normal. A lot more stuff is happening online that we never dreamed of doing online before. And so we now have these sort of dual modalities that we're dealing with. So at the same time that I'm seeing you before me, I know that there are people watching us online. We never ever dreamed of doing this a few years ago. This is part of our new reality, and we're still waiting on that list, right? It's coming. Yes. We can do something else. I'm going to hand you back to the MC.
I think Professor Cohenberg deserves a round of applause for entertaining us. She was more than a gap filler. So we're going to do a little segue. So for the faculty awards, we're going to come back to you. So we're doing a little segue for some honorable mentions. And so we're going to ask Dr. Therese Ferguson-Murray, Deputy Dean for Postgraduate Matters, as well as Dr. Stanley Nair, Deputy Dean, Marketing and Resource Mobilization, to come and address the recognition of MPhil and PhD students.
All right, thank you so much, Tamara. So we really want to use this opportunity to recognize our MPhil and PhD students. These are students who have been navigating the corridors of excellence and through the support of faculty and peer mentors alongside their own diligence and perseverance are really standing out as research scholars of high caliber, even as they are pursuing their MPhil and PhD programs. These are students who are disseminating their research through publications and conference presentations. They're also students who are achieving what sometimes, not all the time, sometimes can be overlooked milestones, such as successfully upgrading from MPhil to PhD, making it to the point where they're actually defending their thesis in the oral exam, and putting together paperwork, portfolios, and so forth, performing well in interviews to support their achievement of various types of awards, such as scholarships and grants. So here they are. Dr. Stanley Nair will call the first set of names as they flash on the screen.
Thank you very much, Therese. Good afternoon, colleagues. My own words of congratulations to our awardees and those who are being recognized now. So in the category of MPhil upgrades, those who have successfully upgraded during the academic year, we want to recognize Curtis Wallace from the Department of History and Archaeology. Gillian Wilkinson McDaniel from the Institute of Caribbean Studies. For those who had PhD orals, as in defended their theses during the academic year, we want to recognize Keela Mills from the Department of Literatures in English. Now, Dr. Kurt Henry, Institute of Caribbean Studies. Dr. Caroline Cousins, Department of Modern Languages and Literatures. Dr. Kamala Anderson, School of Education. Dr. Jacqueline Chen, School of Education. And Dr. Natasha John from the School of Education. Now, on to special awards. Departmental awardees, those who were given the opportunity to serve their departments as they were completing various aspects of graduate work. Tony Shea Gray from Carimac. Abigail Whittingham from Carimac. Elton Johnson, Department of Literatures in English. Ooh. Oluwadamilola Ajayi from the Department of Library, Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Sorry. Me never do too bad. Yes, that was good. That was good. Elaine Fenelus, same department, Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Juliet Jackson, Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Brittany Palmer, same department, Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Gillian Watson, same department, Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Tonia Brown from the Institute of Caribbean Studies. Chantal Cover from the Institute of Caribbean Studies. Shari Williams, Institute of Caribbean Studies. Sharika McGowan Hunter from the School of Education. Keisha Walker Dawkins from the School of Education. Now on to those who received the prestigious UWI scholarships. Sashan Dixon from the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Also from that department, Shanique Taylor and Paula Daly from the Institute of Caribbean Studies. Now, those who received research and publication grants from our Office of Graduate Studies and Research, Elaine Fenelus. Didn't we hear that name before? Congratulations again. From the Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy, Melissa Beckford Simpson from the Institute of Caribbean Studies, Sherika McGowan Hunter from the School of Education, another name, another set of names we heard before, and we want to congratulate them. Now, those who received the Principal's Research Awards as part of departmental or interdisciplinary teams, Benny, you know, I can never pronounce this name, but we call her Benny for short. Benny Watson from the Institute of Caribbean Studies, Camille Berry from the School of Education, and Alison Montgomery from the School of Education. Let's congratulate them again.
And we have students who have been disseminating their research, publishing, and we will name those students. We have Elton Johnson from the Department of Literatures and English. I'm not going to read the names of the publications. You can see them on screen. Janelle Duke from Library and Information Studies, and she has 2 publications listed. Norman Malcolm from Library and Information Studies. Benny Watson, again, from Institute of Caribbean Studies, and I believe she has 2, yes, in this category. Camille Berry, once again, from School of Education. Mark Jeffrey Deans from School of Education. Tamara Scott McFarlane from School of Education. Denise Minot, who has 2 publications listed in this category. Alison Montgomery from School of Education. And then we have those who have been disseminating through conferences and other sorts of presentations. We have K.V. Bailey from the Department of Literatures in English. And again, he's listed twice. Lisa Brown, Literatures in English. Elaine Fenelus, Department of Language, Linguistics and Philosophy. Janelle Duke from the Department of Library and Information Studies. Sparkle Ferreira from Library and Information Studies. Norman Malcolm from Library and Information Studies. And again, several listed for him. Melissa Beckford Simpson, Institute of Caribbean Studies. Tanisha Adams Robinson, School of Education. Diane Bailey from the School of Education. Nikoi Coraldi, he has 2 listed for the School of Education. Mark Jeffrey Deans for the School of Education. Michael Maxwell, School of Education. Sharika McGowan Hunter. So you realize some of these names you're seeing across several categories, right? And Sharika McGowan Hunter again, and Sharika McGowan Hunter once again. Marcia Mills McFarland, School of Education. Tamara Scott McFarland, School of Education, and she has a second one as well. Ava Marie Reed, School of Education, and she has a second one as well. And Shauna K. Williams Pinnock from the School of Education. These are our MPhil PhD students. The work that they are doing cannot be overlooked. If any of them are here, I invite them to please stand for a moment so that we can applaud you, please. All right, excellent. All right, thank you. So back over to, has the list come? Yes, the list has come.
Right, so, ready now. So first of all, the completion of a PhD, it's something that takes your life for a period of time. So I want to congratulate anyone in this faculty who completed a PhD in the year for which we're doing this awards, 22-23. But a few people, a minority, received their PhD with high commendation in that year. So those are the people who we are especially highlighting here. First, Dr. Keela Mills. Which department? I don't even. So Dr. Therese Ferguson, Deputy Dean Graduate Studies, will be handing out the certificates. I just have Congratulations, Dr. Mills. And next we turn to Dr. Natasha John. And I believe we are next going to, right here with us, Dr. Kurt Henry. That looks well practiced. Congratulations, Dr. Henry. Dr. Audine Henry. I don't think Dr. Henry is here, no. And last but not least, Dr. Rowan McCalla, and it is Dr. McCalla's father who will be receiving, mother, who will be receiving on his behalf. Again, congratulations, Dr. McCalla.
Thank you, Professor Cohenberg, and thanks must also be extended to Dr. Stanley Nair and Dr. Ferguson Murray. Can we give them another round of applause, please? So ably delivering the awards. All right, now we've been talking for quite some time and we've been enjoying ourselves, right? Right? Of course. But we know that we can also be entertained otherwise. And at this moment, it is my pleasure to introduce Dexnell and Elizabeth Peters to bring some entertainment to us, coming from the Department of History and Archaeology. Please make them welcome.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, oh, you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, oh, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing, be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, oh, you bring on the rain. Stop your sighing, be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. The whole world smiles with you.
Well, like I said earlier, there has to be a glitch somewhere, and one was that someone who earned their PhD with high commendation was missed. Oh, we're going to rectify that now. Okay, Dr. Ferguson may. And that's Dr. Kamala Anderson. Dr. Anderson. So thank you, Drs. Mills, John, Henry again, McCullough, and Anderson for making us proud.
Thanks again, Professor Coenberg. When you smile, the whole world smiles at you. That was so angelic. It was so soothing, and it's catchy. I actually recognize the gentleman fixing the microphone humming to the tune. And awardees, the whole world is smiling at you because you're extremely happy for your achievements. Congratulations again.
And I also want to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has participated in this afternoon's program so far. Give yourselves a round of applause. Audience members, deans, departmental heads, we've all played our roles well. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Karif Clark, an MPhil student from the School of Education, to bring us some updates from the MPhil PhD Task Force. Mr. Clark?
A pleasant afternoon, everyone. So I am here to share with you a bit about the MPhil PhD Task Force, and I think we now have to add EDD or EdD to that because we now have EDD students in the faculty under the banner of the School of Education. So I am Karif Clark, and I am an MPhil student. I no longer tell people which year I am in, because I think I'm running behind my own schedule to complete, but I'll stick with it. And I'll share a bit with you in terms of the MPhil PhD Task Force. So the task force itself emerged in 2021, coming out of discussions with MPhil PhD students at the time when Dr. Roof was the Deputy Dean in charge of graduate studies and research. And graduate students shared a number of concerns, a number of issues, the same issues highlighted by Dr. Henry in terms of what it felt like going through an MPhil PhD program. And so the task force was put in place to support MPhil PhD students. And we have been doing so in an intentional way, if I were to say so. And so we operate on three pillars really: academic support, professional engagement, and mental health. And Dr. Henry, of course, would have mentioned some of those areas. So for this semester, we will be looking at mental health of our graduate students. And so we encourage you to look out for that engagement. The engagement is going to take place next month. We'll communicate the dates with you, the date and time, location or modality. In addition to that, another way in which we support graduate students, our last engagement was where we had sessions, writing sessions, sharing sessions, peer review sessions. Those were hosted in the library, and so we encourage you to look out for those. We call them Ignite sessions, where we meet, we write, we discuss, and we support each other as graduate students. Remember, it can be a lonely journey if you are, let us say, find yourself as the only one in your area looking at a particular area of study. And so we encourage you to meet with us, to get the support from us, from the MPhil PhD, now EDD task force, for support. If you need to reach out to us, there is a WhatsApp group for the entire faculty as well, so you can be added to that WhatsApp group. And all students should be on the mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list, you can let me know, and we'll ensure that you're added to that mailing list so that you can receive the communique from us. Again, congratulations to everyone in this event, those online, those present, those who are not able to attend in person, and to thank the organizers for this engagement. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Clark, and I certainly appreciate the value of a community, so thanks for the update on the MPhil PhD task force.
All right, and of course, we can't forget a very special someone. So we want to invite our very own Dr. Kurt Henry. I see you looking away, but you know. We want to invite Dr. Henry to join us on stage, please. And I want all of us to just give him a very big round of applause. Thank you again, Dr. Henry. At this time, to give the official thanks, the official vote of thanks, I'd like to invite Dr. Ferguson Murray to take it away. Make her welcome, please.
Thank you so much, as the microphone falls. All right, so I would really like to express thanks to everyone on the program. Those who brought remarks: Dean Cowenberg, Professor Henry Lee, Professor Roy in her absence, Dr. Dexnell Peters and Elizabeth Peters for that item that had me humming as well. And of course, Dr. Henry, as was already expressed. I want to say a special thanks to our co-host, I'm already speaking it into being, right? I'm speaking it into being. Tamara Scott McFarlane, Tony Shea Gray. When I first asked them if they would be willing to do this, and I met with them, Tamara said that, she's very mellow and so forth. Tony Shea said, well, that's good. It's a good balance. She brings the vibes. So I said, oh, that sounds like mellow vibes, right? So that worked out well. Thanks, of course, to the departmental heads who have been here, all who contributed to presenting awards. I'd also like to thank the various sponsors of awards. We had at least one present with us, and we know that we have others who are supporting our students. To the organizing committee, Dr. Sonia Stanley Naya, Ms. Sucheta Stevenson. We've also had support last semester when the event was intended to be in November from colleagues at MSBM, Ms. Benny Watson, as well as students, Ms. Shamela Donaldson, Mr. Nicholas Watson, and other members of the team. Special thank you to Office of Graduate Studies and Research, Professor Marcia Roy, Ms. Georgia Bennett, Mrs. Geraldine Hufung, and other team members who assisted, particularly with respect to that list of names that we spoke to in terms of the MPhil PhD students, circulating flyers, announcements, also helping us to organize a town hall meeting with MPhil PhD students and also our taught master's students last semester to share about this event. Administrative support, Mrs. Sophia Hales Johnson, Ms. Katie Ann Hussey, Mrs. Judith Simpson Ricketts, Ms. Shanaka Leslie, a student from Caramac who assisted us with creating the program, flyer, and so forth, as well as colleagues from School of Education who have also worked very hard. All of those present here in the audience supporting the students, family members, friends, other peers, and of course faculty members, thank you. To MITS for technical support, and all others who would have contributed to this event, a very big thank you. So this brings us to the end of this segment. We now move outside for the next segment, which is our social/networking, where there will be some refreshments where you get to just relax, eat, talk to each other, get to know one another, because you heard two things. Well, amongst others, you heard about the importance of community, and you also heard how isolating this postgraduate journey can be. So this is one of those attempts to help to make it less isolating. So please make your way outside and refresh yourselves. Thank you.